What up, kings, moguls, magnates, and tycoons? Women want attention just like a man wants sex. So the name of the game is you give a woman some of your attention and she gives you some of her sex. But with the invention of social media, it messed it up because now you have all these women getting bombarded with male attention from everywhere because of social media. And now they walk around with an inflated sense of self. Now they walk around like the Prime Minister of North Korea because they have all of these thirsty simps giving out this attention for free. So now they don't value male attention. Male attention has experienced hyperinflation. It is worth less than it ever has been worth in human history. So you have two options here. You either make your attention valuable or you bombard these women with huge amounts of attention. And I'll give you an answer right now. It's not B. I used to do option choice B. I would be sending these girls compliments and texting them, calling them beautiful and fine and cute and every validation under the sun. And that's a one-way ticket to the friend zone. That's a one-way ticket to rejection town. So you got to make your attention more valuable. Here's how you do that. Instagram is your biggest weapon. I like Tinder too, but Instagram is by far your most potent weapon. If anything, a good thing to do is carefully cultivate your Instagram. I'll tell you how to do that in just a second. Put it in your Tinder bio, and then use Tinder, Bumble, Hinge as ClickFunnels to your Instagram. So here's how you demonstrate high value on Instagram. This is my personal Instagram. I have a business Instagram that's bigmanvic_fit that I use for business stuff, but this is my personal one. And I've done some things to demonstrate higher value. There are 3 things that you need to do in order to create an Instagram profile that demonstrates higher value and is attractive to women. The first thing is social proof. You want to have pictures with other people. I have a picture with my brother. I have a picture with some homies from the gym. It shows that I'm not some weirdo. I'm not some loner. Don't go overboard with it, but have some pictures with some other people. The second thing you need to do is lifestyle pictures. I've done a lot of traveling. I'm a very well-traveled person, so I have some of my travel pictures on my Instagram. Even if you haven't traveled to a bunch of countries, just take pictures of you at a bunch of different beaches and you standing in front of rocks and forests. Just make it look like you've done a lot of traveling. Another part of the lifestyle is take pictures of you in and in front of expensive stuff. Boats work very well. Nice cars work very well. Nice houses. Even if you don't own them, just take pictures around them. As a man that's still on the come up, I'm at the very beginning of my come up, and you probably are too if you're watching this video. Don't be afraid to finesse it. Don't be afraid to make it look like you're living a more interesting lifestyle than you already are. Because let me tell you something right now. Mr. Honest, Schmonest, Mr. Schmethical, Ethical is going to be a virgin. Mr. G, that plays a little bit of finesse, he's going to be getting the bitches. Another area in which it is imperative for you to finesse is when a woman asks you what you do for a living. For example, on my link tree, it says freelance mind freer. So I get women asking me, what's a mind freer? Instead of saying like, I'm a red pill YouTuber and I teach people about female nature, I tell them that's a passion project I'm working on. But I live a very eclectic life. I have multiple streams of income. That opens them up for a follow-up question. Then they'll always ask, what are your streams of income? And if I was Mr. Moral Sorrel, then I would answer, I'm an email copywriter. I actually write emails for people and then I help out their businesses and then it helps with their revenue. But since I'm a G, I just say, I take care of my people. I make sure everyone I care about is taken care of. Then that opens up her imagination. Now she's thinking, is this guy a mob boss? Is this guy a hitman? Is this guy a scammer? Is this guy a drug dealer? All of these things, her imagination's going crazy. And guess what else is going crazy? That pussy hole. Do not be afraid to keep the mystery. Don't be afraid to give her some half loop around politician answers where you're not answering her question at all. Because that keeps the interest up, that keeps the mystery alive, and that keeps the pussy wet. The third part of a successful Instagram profile, and unfortunately I don't have this quite yet, is an amazing follower ratio. You want at least 10,000 followers and much less following. Right now, I'm struggling. I only got like 300 followers on my personal account, but I'm making do. I'm still doing well. Now that you know how to demonstrate higher value on Instagram, and you can apply the same thing to dating apps, it brings me to my next point, texting the hoes. Every text should be a progression towards your goal, which is sex. Openers I like to use on Tinder are I'll just send out my phone number and say, use it, don't abuse it. That works pretty well. Another one is I'll say, I swiped right because you're almost as cute as me. That also works pretty well, but I found a better one that I like even more. What I do is, this works especially well on Instagram, because on Tinder you kind of know the answer to this, is you just write your city, the city you're in, question mark, random emoji. Then she'll see it. She'll take a look at your profile. If she likes your profile and has any sort of interest level in you, she'll respond either, yeah, I'm in your city, or no, I'm not in that city. If she responds, yeah, then what you say is, well, how come I've never seen you? Where have you been hiding? She usually says, haha, I'm not hiding. But the rest of the conversation doesn't really matter. Don't copy my thing. You got to find your own style. You got to be you. Just make sure you are a G. But the whole purpose of this Instagram conversation or Tinder conversation is get her off of the app and onto the phone number. Big man Vic, what if she doesn't give me her phone number? Drop that hoe. You always need to be willing to walk away, especially before you've had sex with her. The nicer she is and the higher interest she is showing over text, the more attention you give her and the nicer you are over text. If she's kind of giving you some sarcastic responses, taking a long time to reply, you reciprocate. And if it gets bad enough, drop that hoe. You got to have boundaries. And if the boundaries get crossed, drop that hoe. The whole purpose of the initial phone number texting is to try to get an in-person meetup. What you do is, after a little bit of texting, you instruct her, hey, let's get coffee. I'm free Tuesday and Friday. Give out a couple options, but you don't ask, would you maybe want to please go get coffee? You instruct her, hey, let's get coffee. I'm free this time, give her a couple options. Then, if she says no, drop that hoe. Keep repeating this process until you find a woman that is willing to meet up with you for coffee. Now, the reason why it's coffee, and I used to do Chipotle dates, I used to take bitches out and get them burritos, there's a problem with that. Once a woman has a full stomach, she has that chicken and that guacamole and the beans and rice. Now, women, think about this. When you're clapping the cheeks, she's going to be burping chicken fiber or steak fiber into your mouth, and they're not going to want to have sex with you. With coffee or tea or ice cream, you do not run into that problem. So on the coffee date, just be confident, charismatic, funny, but don't be trying too hard. Don't say autistic things. I'm guilty of this. Just be smooth, just be relaxed, just be outcome independent. It's hard to give you exact advice because I don't know you, I don't know your personality. You want to keep the length of this date from 15 to 45 minutes, around there. You don't want to stay too long and then she'll get bored of you. Remember, you can do anything to a woman except bore her. Keep the conversation kind of flirty, but don't get creepy. Like, You could put like your arm around her or something, but don't be too touchy-feely, horny, needy. Because remember, this is just the first date. I like making an attempt to bring her back to my place on the first date so she knows what kind of relationship this is. It's not some friendly interaction, but you got to build up to it. You got to make a reason why she should come over to your house. Meeting a pet is good. If you have a nice view, tell her that. If you have something cool to show her, but sprinkle that stuff in the middle of the date. Don't just be like at the end, like, hey, by the way, you want to come back to my house? If she comes back with you, great. If not, it's no big deal. Just keep texting her a little bit more. Ask her out on a second date. Something like another coffee would be fine. A walk in the park, a walk on the beach. Something where it's you get to talk to her. Or if you have a good friend group, you could do like a double date, or you could invite her to like chill with the homies with you. As long as your homies are G's, they know what they're doing. If you use these strategies, I promise you, you're gonna get laid. But before you go, I got 2 things I gotta tell you. The first thing is this: after you smash, don't get whipped. After you smash, you are in a position of power, unlike when you are pursuing her, trying to smash. Don't waste it by getting whipped, by getting needy, by getting overly attached. Just remain aloof and do your thing. And the second thing, the best time to text a woman is in the evening from like 6 to 9. That's the time where they're really susceptible to seduction. All right, leave a like, click here if you want to keep watching. And once we get to that 500, I got something special.